Hey, we're back again with
Fuck
more
this
Rome
hand.
here on Jupiter's Crock, on the Outpost Unknown YouTube channel. It's been a couple weeks. We're off of a high, a very mediocre episode in a sea of shit, and so we're all rocketing towards the end here. We are talking episode 9 of season 2. It's called Deus Impeditio Asuratori Nullus, otherwise known in English as "No God Can Stop a Hungry Man." We are in the end game here. The last 2 episodes. How you feeling going into this one, Ronan?
No, I reject the concept of that question.
Well, the last episode, you just told us that you were like, oh, all right, well, maybe this wasn't going to be good. So were you feeling okay, pretty good going into this one? Or
At first, and
did
then,
your thoughts change in the past 2 minutes?
yeah, like past 2 weeks. Yes, exactly.
Sorry, past 2 weeks.
Let me correct your improper grammar there. We got to remember how the time jumps work, Matt. God damn it. But no. It's like the last episode was just kind of okay. And then you start up with this one, and you're like, almost instantly. It's like, yeah. So yeah, no. It ends like that kind of not even high. That slight little peak ends instantly when this episode kicks up.
Okay.
Instantly.
Okay, now we got Ploticus over there. He's the one who does yeoman's work for us. He has to remember all of this stuff. Last episode, Steve, you weren't having a great time with this show. You wanted it to end. So how are you feeling going into this?
How you doing, buddy?
I feel like I feel like I am aging as fast as time is moving in these episodes.
Fair.
Interesting.
Okay, so let's talk about a massive multi-year time jump, Steve. Let's do it.
Yes. All right. So the episode starts where Rome is starving. There is apparently some sort of grain shortage, and Octavian has sent people to Egypt to compel Antony to give grain to Rome, and like price is no option. And they're like, yeah, we will give you double. And then Antony says, actually, I want triple. And they're, oh yeah, cool.
Space
Don't
buck.
forget. What is Antony? We just left Antony in the last episode. He was super pissed off. He's got to go. He has this emotional goodbye with Attia. I will send for you. I will come back. Now we've jumped multiple years. What is Antony's current state right now, Steve?
Well, I was going
we
to...
omitted in the last episode that when Antony gets to Egypt, he walks into like the room with Cleopatra and he looks at her with like the clear fuck eyes, like yeah, it's like
she's a piece, Ronan.
Yeah,
she's a royal piece.
Yeah, so like that nice emotional thing with the grip, like with Attia, it's just like instantly the minute he gets there, it's like, oh well, of course he's a fuckboy.
So let me set this up how I observed the time jump we're going to find out about. So I'll get there. So Mark Antony is basically now ruling all of Egypt with Cleopatra, and so they control all of the grain. And so Octavian's men go in there like, we'll offer you double the price, and Mark Antony says, no, I want triple. Okay, cool, triple the price. And Cleopatra's like, and also I want Carthage. And they're like, okay, it's getting a little weird now, but that's fine. We'll give you all Carthage. And then Mark Antony says, I want Spain. And they're like, they draw, like, we cannot give you fucking Spain. And Antony's like, oh, I guess you can just get the shit out without your grain. Meanwhile, there's a man dressed as a fucking deer being forced to drink water out of a bowl while Cleopatra shoots a bow and arrow at it to practice hunting. And they eventually kill the guy. And then out walks 2 like 4 or 5 year old children that now belong to Mark Antony and Cleopatra. And remember a couple episodes we were proud of them for putting 3 years later on
3 months later.
Yeah, 3 months later, whatever it is, like in the middle of an episode. Again, they completely just dropped that. Like years have passed since the end of the last episode, and there was nothing to explain that in initial moments of this episode. Clearly, some sort of time jump has happened because now, like, Antony is basically co-ruler of Egypt, but then their children walk out the door, and Caesarion Caesar air quotes, and Cleopatra's kid is now like a 10-year-old boy. Just there, and there's nothing to set this up. It's just, and time has passed. Enjoy, waka waka.
We're getting canceled.
We knew about it when we started writing the show, but we didn't fix anything. Fuck you.
Yeah, so the overarching plot of this episode is the famine. Rome is starving. Octavian is trying to get grain from Egypt. Mark Antony is not having it. You find out that Mark Antony and Octavian, neither of them want to be the bad guy. Both of them want the other to declare war so they can say, well, I'm just defending myself, even though Rome is being plunged into chaos. And so they're trying to see who's going to blank first. Octavian really wants an excuse to go invade Egypt and kill Mark Antony to take his grain. And Mark Antony really wants Octavian to try, but he doesn't want to actually declare war. So they're just trying to coax the other one into taking that first step. Octavian's also really bothered by how much the people still love Mark Antony. Anything else about
Antony is literally the name of their pain, and yet these mirroring modern day, as they say, if you ignore history, you repeat it. Much like today, the number one person who is causing most of your pain is also the one that 40% of the people still love. It makes some
mention
sense
in here of that to Octavian. Isn't it Pullo?
Yeah. So let me get there. That's coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
take us there, Steve.
All right. So again, they're trying to see who's going to blink first about starting war. Pullo has now taken over the Collegium. He is the new Varenus. Mascius, who is permanently injured, is still there. They're taking care of Varenus' kids.
He's the new number 2.
For whatever, Pullo, by the way, is now banging Gaia, and Gaia is now pregnant. So Irene has been replaced. Pullo,
that also made me this character was already unredeemable, but you've just made it so much worse. Fuck this.
Yeah, so now, but what I didn't get was, what exactly is the Collegium? Because clearly it was some sort of crime organization before, but now they're handing out grain to people, and I don't know. I did not get what the fucking Collegium is actually responsible for. But anyways, Pullo goes to everyone, has a big announcement. It's hey, look, sorry, I've given you all the food I'm allowed to give you today. He decides that I'm going to go talk to Octavian and see if Octavian can give us any more food. Octavian tells him, sorry, we're running low on food too. They have the idea of, well, let's just send part of our army down to Africa where Lepidus is. Remember Lepidus, that guy who was a cornerstone of the show? We'll send 3 legions down to him and make him feed those legions, and that'll give us an extra month of food, and we of course will share that food with Titus Pullo. But then as they're wrapping up this agreement, Octavian says, hey Pullo, you've got kind of the ear of the people. Who are they blaming for the famine? And Pullo says, well, they're blaming you. And everyone tries to say, well, it's Mark Antony's fault. It's demonstrably Mark Antony's fault. And Pullo's well, yeah, but he's Mark Antony. Everyone loves Mark Antony, but you. And Pullo kind of hesitates for a bit, and Octavian's oh right, I'm the cold monster.
Well, and I don't have enough RAM to process love. That's right. Fuck.
Yeah.
Spoiled again.
Pullo's I'm not gonna call you a cold, heartless monster or anything, but you're not exactly.
A lot of people are saying.
Not warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, you're not exactly likable and personable. So yeah, Octavian appreciates that Pullo is being honest with him. But yeah, Octavian is very bothered by the fact that Mark Antony still has so much support, even though Mark Antony is starving Rome to death.
Join the club, man. Join the club.
Anyways, so another indication that years have passed. Octavia has a kid now. I think in the last episode, as she was breaking up with Agrippa, she revealed that she was pregnant. But she wouldn't say if it was Mark Antony's kid or Agrippa's kid. And I don't think this episode clarifies in any way. Just Octavia's got a kid now. It's I don't remember how we got here, but somehow, some way, Octavian's like, hey, I bet if I sent my mom and my mom's vagina to Mark Antony would give us some grain. It's like, how was that even set up? How did this plan to send Octavia and Adia to Egypt come about? I have completely forgot. Did they was this random, or was there a setup?
No,
to this?
as best I can remember, the reason why he does is because the senators that he sent down, where the show opens with, like, it's like his little deer hunting thing. He's talking to some Roman senators who are like, "Why the fuck aren't you sending us our grain? How much money do we have to give?" Those senators have come back. So the time jump. So we started the show off with a time jump. There has been at least another month and a half-ish time jump because it takes about a month or plus to get from Rome to Egypt. For those senators to get back and tell Octavian, like, oh yeah, Anthony said no, he told us to go fuck ourselves. He wants this, and this. Caesar too understands that Anthony is goading him to invade. And that's why he's upset. So he decides, well, maybe if I send like a softer voice, he can't turn down his wife and he can't turn down my mom. We will in fact figure out later on that Octavian knew that Anthony would have to turn them down. This was again more of a.
He
ploy.
says something because it would look bad to the Roman people if Mark Antony were to
That's right.
his wife to show up there. Like like the Romans take marriage very, very seriously, and so that's what would look bad.
Except for the ones that don't. But so that's right. So Octavian calls Adia and Octavian says, "Hey, I'm going to send you to Rome to talk to Mark Antony," and Adia and Octavia both essentially hate Octavian at this point, but they're reveling in the idea that Octavian is going to owe them a favor. So they're like, "What payment do you? What pay will you give us?" And you're like, "Oh, you want a new villa? You can have a new villa." And Adia's talking to Octavia. It's like, you could open up a gladiator school. That'd be fun to watch. Or you just take it in cash. Take your reward in cash, so that you can decide later. And
wasn't there a Spartacus mention in one of these episodes? Somebody mentioned Spartacus.
Yeah, so
I was like, "There's our connection."
No. Yeah, Octavian calls Octavia, or he says something like, "Fancy yourself a Spartacus now," because she is rebelling against him in some way.
Yeah.
I totally
so there was a
that.
Spartacus mention.
This would have had, I don't know if the Spartacus Revolution would have been within their living memory because Caesar was young when that happened.
I saw the show. Caesar was there. And Caesar would have passed that information on to Octavian because Caesar was there infiltrating the group. Like, this is all in continuity.
Caesar's piece of shit, and I was actually young and could do stuff. Well, let me tell you about those days.
It's always weight with you, Ronan. You're always bringing up the weight of older people. It's disturbing. Boba Fett, Caesar, it's always about weight with you.
Well, for one, with Caesar, that was his defining characteristic. Oh, he's a fat white dude amongst many fat white dudes.
No, I watched Spartacus.
It's not my fault that in the show Rome, Caesar was a fat white dude. That's not my fault. It's also not my fault that, chronologically within the course of Star Wars, Boba Fett went from being a slim killer.
Jesus Christ, we're moving on. We're moving on. We are moving on.
He started this. Stop me.
Ronan's audio is cracking. I'm sorry, everyone listening. He gets loud sometime and can't control his volume. Anyways. I forgot where the fuck. Oh, no, I'm getting out of this hand. I'm going to be very upset if another card that I like comes out. Anyways, right. Hey, we're going to send Adia and Octavia to Egypt, and then we get the weird sex scene where Octavian is furiously fucking his young bride, and then I assume he starts to lose his boner because she starts slapping him, And then he gets fucking full mast again and starts taking her back to Pound Town. And then they're lying in bed. And Octavian apparently just had the hardest cum of his life because he can't fucking breathe. He cannot fucking breathe. Meanwhile, Livia
wasn't she like choking him at the beginning of that? I thought she had like her forearm up against his throat and was like choking him.
I don't know that, but the slap definitely happened.
Yeah, the slap.
And then like later on, when he is laying down and she is on top of him, he comes so hard that like his soul leaves his body, and Livia,
I saw it.
And Livia rolls off to the side, and then she goes, "I don't like eggs. I don't think we should serve eggs anymore." And she's like, "Oh, by the way, sending your mom and Mark Antony's wife to Egypt is brilliant because either they'll get the grain or Mark Antony will turn away his wife, which will finally turn the people against her or against him, and then you can declare war." And Octavian's just like, as he finally catches his breath and the soul re-enters his physical form and recombines with him, he's like, "Good night, dear," and just rolls over. He
says good night, but you also clearly see sun through the back area. So, like, this is the worst. I literally had that thought when he said good night. I was like, wait, but the sun was shining just a minute ago when you were pounding her. What the fuck happened? It's the worst day for night.
It is a strange sex scene.
This is one of those things where, where people will say, they leveled this charge against Game of Thrones where like, oh, it's sex for, there's no reason to have it. It's like, this is a very vigorous sex scene. Like, things are bouncing all around and it is like slap. It's like, what was there actually a reason to have this sex scene in this? She could have just said this in any form. We've already established.
That's what I was going to ask. Like,
and he didn't hit her; she hit him. That's the weird thing.
Yeah. Like, if the show had given us more time, that's what I was ranting about in the last episode. If the show had given us more time to explore this weird kink dynamic that it's introduced and will now throw away. This is gone. It will never come back. But it makes this whole scene pointless.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, it's like historically, was Octavian known to have some sort of kink, or is this something the showrunners just decided it's very important for Octavian and his wife to have some kink? Like, where did this come from?
Google this right now. Octavian's sex life, ancient Rome.
So what happened was one of the writers, once they realized that they had lost 12 seasons of the show, because one of the writers has this kink and was very excited that in the fourth season he was going to get to be able to explore this kink and really flesh it out. And then they told him no, and he got really upset and started ugly crying and I'll kill myself if I can't put a slap kink in this show. Fine, we'll give you 2 minutes to put the slap kink into the show. With full penetration, yeah, fine, you can have full penetration with your slap kink, alright? It's just not going to tie into anything. I hate you, I wanted to tie this into everything. That's what happened. That's the only thing I can think of, is that, somebody wanted to explore this, they weren't able to, and he didn't handle it well.
Okay, so here's the official ancient historical references to Augustus, because that's who Octavian becomes. Despite sharing many of his predecessor's sexual proclivities, Caesar's successor enjoyed a much better reputation. Throughout his life, Augustus, or Octavian as he was called before becoming emperor, used sex in a thoroughly Roman way as a means of obtaining power. Politically, this justified his homosexual escapades towards the beginning of his career, most famously with Aulus Hirtius, a consul and military writer by whom Octavian allowed himself to be buggered for the bargain basement price of 300,000 sesterces. The man who repeatedly reminded Octavian of this was Lucius Antonius, the brother of Mark Antony, who's not in this show. Initially, Octavian's co-consul and brother-in-law by marriage to Octavian's sister Octavia. Oh, hold on, guys. Oh, shit. No, fuck. I hit the wrong thing because I'm reading and doing something at the same time. Get out of this hand. Get out of this hand. We shouldn't be surprised that Mark Antony and his allies sought to portray Octavian in these terms. As someone rumored to have driven a chariot led by lions, Antony was regarded as a quintessential Roman, bold, brash, military man through and through. This is why he alleged that Octavian had only earned Caesar's favor by sleeping with him, while Lucius Antonius claimed he practiced singing his legs with roasting nutshells to soften the hairs.
What?
So yes, this show portrays Octavian as like almost like anti-sex in terms of like doing it himself. There's that whole
Borderline
sequence last season with Pullo trying to teach him to go to the brothel and bang the chick.
Good times.
But it says nothing about he likes to beat women and get beat. This seems to have been entirely created by the writers of this show. And that poor actress. Hey, we're hiring you for 10 minutes. In 3 minutes of it, are you going to be getting rammed, beating this guy, and then choking him out, and then talking about eggs fully nude? Congratulations. It's not
eggs.
porn, it's HBO.
I get, what, if they knew that they didn't have the time to fully, cut this out. Cut this shit. Or I understand you want to have this conversation so the audience can be like, like that. I understand that's what the purpose of that dialogue was for. But if you don't have time to explore this kink, and you're just going to introduce it randomly, and then again, it's gone after this. Like, why fucking do it? It comes out of nowhere, which is why it has derailed 2 separate episodes.
Yeah,
at the expense of stuff that was important
for Ronan.
Yeah. Well, I'm with Ronan. I don't mind exploring the kink if you have time to do it. Like, if this chick would have been introduced in the first episode of this season, or 3, whenever this guy shows up, that's one thing, and we get to this point.
You
Did I fucking win? Holy shit, I won!
Yeah!
I'm locked.
I'm gonna clap for that.
Golf clap.
I wasn't paying attention to the cards. I'm like, well, I lost that, but
so you somehow got it straight with a 7-2.
Had to do it. Had to do it.
But yeah, no.
I agree with Ronan. Like, it's fine to do, but this just felt like we have to throw in some titties here in this episode because there ain't going to be any the rest of the way. So let's just have this actress bouncing around. And
I did not want to see her titties.
I don't know what's wrong with you. Yeah, no, she had nice. No, they were nice.
They were fine. What's wrong with you, Steve?
Yeah, what the fuck? How is it you're letting Matt, the prude, be the one who's like, no, those were like agree with me? Like, no, those were fine titties.
There was nothing wrong with her.
Nah, she was just weird and awkward, and I wanted to see no sexuality from her.
Wow.
I didn't know you hated women.
Octavian is weird and
liberation.
Anyways, let's talk. Let's move on from
moving on from this.
The titty and egg scenes.
I'm this whole conversation to Rachel right now.
So, Adia and Octavia show up to Egypt, and they're fine. They arrive on a boat, and they're like, "All right, hey, we're here to see Antony." And this starts like an unnecessarily long, like almost slapstick sequence of Mark Antony and Cleopatra trying to figure out what the fuck they're going to do. And at first, Cleopatra's like, let's invite them in, and we'll really turn on the PDAs and make Adia feel really awkward because I want to show Adia that you love me now and not her. And Mark Antony's like, I about that. And so
I really don't like labels, you know.
We didn't point out like Mark Antony is high as a fucking kite throughout both of these episodes. Like when he's introduced at the beginning, he is completely stoned out of his mind. Just, he's not in his right mind.
Yeah, well, and continues to be stoned the rest of the episode, where Cleopatra or Mark Antony's like, I don't know, I don't really want to rub it in Adia's face. Let's just not take him in. And they discuss, well, if you don't take him in, it'll be taken as you've rejected your wife, and that will be Octavian's reason to declare war. But then
hospitality is a big thing.
Yeah, hospitality is a big thing, and Cleopatra wants to put on a big show and a song and dance to rub it in Adia's face, and Mark Antony is not about that life. And so Cleopatra's like, fine, just fucking kill him. And Mark Antony is trying to find a compromise because he clearly still has feelings for Adia. He doesn't want her embarrassed, but nor does he, but he also understands that inviting Adia into the house is a terrible fucking idea.
He's desperately trying to avoid this conversation. I don't even think it's that he doesn't. There's probably part of it where he doesn't want to embarrass her for old time's sakes, but he is also very clearly done with her. It's like, oh well, no, I'm full fuckboy. That was like Tuesday's piece. This is Thursday. I don't want anything to do with this. I don't want I think he's just desperate to avoid that. I don't even think so much that he has feelings for her. He just does not want to have this conversation.
Well, he doesn't want to embarrass her because Cleopatra says to him, clearly Octavian sent them here knowing they would be rejected, and Adia knows that too, and Mark Antony's like, I actually don't think she understands that I'm going to reject her. He is trying to protect her feelings. But eventually, Cleopatra's just like, fuck it. Send him away. I understand this means war, but shit, it's about fucking time.
Wasn't she also hinting that we just sink the boat and kill them?
Yeah, she also says, let's just kill them, but Mark Antony also shuts that down. This scene goes on for way too fucking long, and in the middle of it, Mark Antony and Cleopatra start fucking, and it's juxtaposed to Adia and Octavia outside being like, well, where the fuck is he? Why hasn't he come to the door yet? Back to Antony and Cleopatra fucking. It's just hated every part about this scene.
I thought, because while they were just while he was railing her against the wall, she turns and looks at one of her aides or slaves and kind of signals for them to leave. I thought her plot was to then have them introduce Atia and Octavia into the room so they could just walk in on Anthony railing her.
That would have been more interesting than what we got.
And it doesn't happen.
Yeah, which is Atia and Octavia just fucking standing there.
I'm just sitting here writing a better show.
Anyway,
also, at some point, Pasca comes outside.
Yeah, Jocasta. Jocasta's back.
Jocasta. I love this.
Yeah, Jocasta comes out and is like, Octavia, it's so good to see you. I don't even remember when we were shown that Pasca and Jocasta are here, but they're there. And Jocasta comes out and greets her friend. It's like, oh, I love your hair. Is that how the people are wearing it now? And then Pasca comes out.
Jocasta is living her best life.
She is.
She's got a wig. She's got an Egyptian wig. She's like, yeah, I hate this thing, but that's how they do it here. Cleopatra hates it when you don't wear it. But whenever she scowls at me, I just look at her, and she eventually walks away.
Jocasta is she is absolutely fucking thrilled to see Octavia, and Pasca comes out like, Jocasta, what the fuck are you doing? We gotta get back in the house. Adia, so good to see you. Oh, thank you for coming. Oh, it's been a pleasure as always. Jocasta, get in the fucking house. Get back in the fucking house right now.
Door slammed shut. If this was a comedy show, this would have been a great moment. I would have had to give this was good comedy, but it's just so fucking weird.
We get this really weird fucking block of comedy in the middle of this serious thing where people are trying to avoid all-out war. But eventually, Cleopatra and Antony decide, you know what, we're going to accept the war. Send Adia and Octavia away, and he makes Varenus do it. That's what I was going for. He makes Varenus do it. So Varenus goes out and sends away Adia and Octavia, and Adia is fucking distraught. She has spent years thinking that she's going to get her chance to reunite with Mark Antony, and it didn't happen. So they get on their boat to leave, and everyone knows now this means war. And so Pasca and Jocasta, heroes of the episode again, they're just grabbing shit. They're like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. We gotta fucking go. We gotta get the shit out of here now. And they're like, and Varenus walks in on them. They're like, what are you doing? And Pasca says, oh, we're going somewhere.
We're going for a walk around the harbor to look at the boats.
Yeah, we should also point out that Varenus, stone cold sober through this whole thing. He's the only person in Egypt that apparently is not high on opium throughout all of this. And I just love this whole sequence because, like, he knows exactly what's going on. And there's that moment where he's like, okay, yeah, you can go on your walk. You know, go ahead and do that. And
if you're going to do it now while the wind is still
like, come with us. Like, come with us, dude. And then Varenus is like, if you see Titus Pillow, kiss my kids for me or something like that. I love that whole sequence. It was a fun
Yeah, that was good. Varenus, by the way, is bonding with Caesarion. Just kind of randomly, they're suddenly playing catch together.
I didn't realize that was Caesarion because they didn't name him. When he was like, tell me more about my father, I thought it was like, well, why the fuck do you want him to tell you? Because of the time jumps. I thought it was like, tell me more about Mark Antony. You know your dad. He's right over there. Why the fuck are you... And afterwards, I was like, oh, he's talking about Caesar. Oh, it's that kid. I thought this kid was dead already or something, but I didn't realize that was him.
But Varenus is actually telling him about Pullo, because Pullo is his actual dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes his drink and he likes his women.
Yeah. So Posca and Jocasta return to Rome, which I guess means like they return on Attia's ship. So I guess it means another 2 months has now passed in this episode. And Posca is the fucking hero that Rome needed, because on his way out the door, Posca stole Mark Antony's will and gives it to Octavian and Octavian's buddy, and they read it, and it turns out Mark Antony has declared that Caesarion will go west and take over Rome, which means deposing Octavian. Meanwhile, Mark Antony's 2 kids by Cleopatra will get Egypt and everything east of Rome, and they declare themselves living gods, Isis and Osiris. Basically, like, Antony has abandoned Roman life at this point. And so he gives it, so Octavian's buddy is like, he's cooked himself. This very, like, high-pitched voice. He's cooked himself. He's done it.
He grabs the thing and opens it. It's like a comedy. It's like an old Bowery Boys comedy sketch. He opens it up, and within a second, he, like, crumbles it. He's cooked himself. He sees that instantly. It was such a weird comedy beat. Like, you didn't have time to read that shit. It was such a weird beat.
Yeah, so they share this news with, like, the newsreader that we've seen all throughout the series, and the newsreader declares that Mark Antony has abandoned Rome. He's been bewitched by Cleopatra. He worshipped dogs and reptiles. He no longer cares about the Roman gods, yada, yada, yada. The people have finally turned against Mark Antony. Octavian goes to the Senate and rallies them to war because, Mark Antony has, put to paper that he intends for someone Egyptian to come and take over Rome now. So yeah, we're gonna get our war in the next episode, guys. Super pinky swear promise. But the actual
can't wait. Two seasons to get to this battle.
Oh, this is going to be an incredible naval battle. This must be where all the money from the budget went to.
Oh yeah, they've been saving up for next episode, guaranteed. But the actual end of this episode is Pullo. I don't think I mentioned this before, but Mimio, the guy that Pullo, like the rival crime boss that Pullo bit his tongue out earlier or in last episode. He's just been keeping Mimio in a tiny cage. It's basically like a pet / warning to all of the other crime bosses. So Mimio is locked up, and he escapes. I don't remember how he escaped, but he escapes. And so Pullo goes downstairs, and Mimio knocks him out. And Mimio is about to kill Pullo, but Gaia shows up and kills Mimio, but not before Mimio stabs her. So now Titus Pullo has another pregnant wife that is about to die, and Pullo is like, fucking hell, this can't be happening to me again.
Yeah, he literally has those words.
But Gaia grows a conscience, and she's like, I can't go to the afterlife with like guilt guilt hanging over my head. So she confesses to Titus Pullo that she killed Irene, and Pullo,
Ray Stevens,
Nemesis will not let me go to the afterlife.
His acting fucking amazing because he goes from like tearful and cry. I was like, I can't believe I'm going through this again twice, and it's just like a slow, steady transition as the wheels in his head click. That not only is she the one who took his original loved wife from him, that she also then tricked him into becoming into being his the cold killer. He becomes his character in Dexter in this minute. Like the cold killer in his eyes comes out. Like shit gets real with Titus Polo, and he doesn't say anything. He just puts his hands around her neck. Like, oh, that was great acting on his part. Great acting.
Well, I like the actors too, because in that moment, like, she knows exactly what he's gonna do when she tells him, and she's like, "Goodbye, my love." As he just chokes her out.
He doesn't say anything.
And then he dumps her body in a pond in front of everybody.
Titus Pullo, who the second letter in his last name, I want to reassert, is the letter U and not the letter O. Titus Pullo chokes her out and then takes her body outside and just dumps her in a pond. And that's the end of the episode.
That's I guess thoughts, opinions?
Oh, why don't you start? What are your thoughts and opinions?
There was one, there's little things that are going to be missed. So when the show is opening up and we're being introduced to like Atia and Octavia, we were introduced to Octavia's kid. They are hinting this is supposed to also make you realize just how bad Caesar 2 is for what he's emotionally going to do to his mom. But because she Octavia is constantly mentioning to her you're not going to get a letter. It's been years. He hasn't sent for you. He's done with you. You will understand this, right? And she is literally just been sitting there waiting every day for this letter, for word to come that he sent, that Mark Antony has sent for her. And it's just and so the show they open up and set that up, so that makes her just complete mental breakdown in front of the gates. It helps to show that for Anthony she was just Tuesday, but for her he was everything for her. She genuinely meant it. He did not. I think he meant it for a while, and then just he went to Egypt and suddenly had unrestricted drug access, and it just kind of changed him. I think he meant it at first.
Because even when he's in his drugged out state with Cleopatra, he's trying everything he can to not hurt Atia by bringing her in and flaunting, his kids with Cleopatra. He does not want to hurt her, and that's what causes Cleopatra to get pissed off at him, because she's like, well, what, do you still love this bitch? What is going on? And he's trying not to. So I think always got the sense watching this show that he really loved Atia, because he always goes back to her. Even when Octavian and him, remember when Octavian a few episodes back sends Atia to Mark Antony's camp, whatever, to, just the smile on his face when he sees her. I think he actually loved her. But I think he's so far gone. Of course, we don't get to see any of that development as to why.
It would have been nice if this had its own season. If this had a season's worth of exposition and an explanation for it, instead of it being condensed down. Because the way it reads now, it's I just kind of read it as he's just too hot. He just doesn't want to deal with this. That's very much how Varenus. They've thoroughly destroyed his character and turned him into he's just not redeemable. Because every time he fucks up, he just runs away from it. So that's just the same thing with him. He fucked up with his daughter. Instead of owning up to it and trying to repair it, he just runs away from Rome. The Anthony him, because there is also another scene after Varenus sends them away, because she starts slapping him because he's the only one outside, and he goes back inside and and him and Anthony have a conversation, and Anthony can see it on Varenus's face. He's like, "Oh, you're upset about my orders?" And he's like, are you telling me to speak freely? Because they have a nice little scene where Varenus does just belittle Anthony and just let him know it's yeah, you're a piece of shit. You're a scummy motherfucker.
He says your wife told me to tell you that you're a coward, and then Mark Antony's like, "Is that what you think I am?" And then they have that back and forth. That was a good scene.
Yeah, and Varenus tells him yeah, there's something dead and missing inside of you. I can see it because I'm the same as you. And I was like, oh well, yeah, you're both pieces of shit. I get that, but it's but at the very least, it's nice acting. But I just don't care about these characters anymore. So it's hard. It's like the only people I could root for are just about to be completely taken out of the show. It's Pasca and his dueling woman like they're the ones who, they're the ones giving us all this great comedy that doesn't fucking need to be here.
What I think is great about the Pasca Jocasta thing is when Jocasta was first introduced, obviously she's just, having drugs, living her life, whatever. And Atia basically is the one that fucks over her life entirely. And basically is like, guess what? You're going to marry this Pasca guy, this old dude. And she's like completely devastated that she's going to have to marry Pasca because she's like, oh my God, I've lost everything, blah, blah. I like the idea that Pasca's actually just a really good dude for a husband. Like, he treats her with respect, he gives her whatever she wants, and she found happiness. She's like the only person in this goddamn show that found happiness, and she was the one
probably
that got
deserved it too.
Over.
Yeah,
yeah. I like Jocasta.
She didn't commit any horrible atrocities to anybody. Her only sin was being a young kid doing young kid stupid shit. Yeah, it's like that was her only thing.
Yeah, she just went to an orgy. I mean, we all go to them when we're young.
Everyone remembers their first orgy.
For sure.
But Atia, got upset by that, and that also goes I can't feel sorry for Atia because she's been a horrible fucking character through season 1 and up till now. So the fact that this is the closest to any up and comers this character will ever get is the fact that she realizes she got used. That's the closest she ever gets to up and comers.
I don't know. I think the Adia character has a lot of similarities to Lucy Lawless and Spartacus because both of them are bad people, but I can still root for Adia in a way because she's so there's this. We'll talk about it in the next episode. She has this great final line to Octavian's weirdo wife who Steve doesn't want to see her boobs. She has this great kind of line at the very end about it, and I think the Adia character comes around for me. The other thing, there was something else we missed that I was going to bring up, but my mind has dropped it. Steve, your thoughts on this episode? Maybe it'll come back to me.
I hated it. The only good part, the only good parts were the conversation between Verinis and Mark Antony, where Verinis lays his cards on the table and has a fucking moment of self-reflection. I have no idea how did I win? I have no idea how I fucking won that hand. Holy shit.
I could have stayed in that. I just had 2 kings, but I was scared by the other stuff on the table.
Yeah, I agonized over that decision, but yeah, I meant to do that. The Verinis and Anthony scene was great. Jocasta and Pasca were just a fucking joy in this episode, and I did not care about anything else. I did not. Octavian is just not a significant part of this episode. He's the only character I really care about at this point. It's mostly side characters doing all the pressing business in this episode. I don't care about Pullo anymore. I don't care about Verinis' kids. I didn't care about Gaia. There's just did they cram an entire relationship between Pullo and Gaia into one episode?
I'd say 1.5 episodes. Yeah, give or take. We forget the scene where he. We can't say what he does to her on the YouTube, but we forget that from a few episodes back. And once again, he's been rewarded for this fucking atrocious behavior. I can't. He still gets some nice lines and the acting because the only it's the character himself is just beyond redemption, but you still the only reason that there is any good reason to watch him is because Ray Stevenson is just a great actor. So even playing this character that's unredeemable, it's just he's good acting, so I can enjoy the craft. But I can't root for him.
Yeah, no, I wasn't into this. I think the time skip, learning early on that 5 to 6 years have passed. It took me out. I'm tired of it. I don't need to see Mark Antony's kids. God, I was so uninto this episode. Aside from Jocasta, who was great. Jocasta and Posca are the highlight.
That stuff is great, but yeah. Otherwise, no, I agree. This episode's balls. It sucks.
I didn't hate the episode. I liked it more than you guys. I think I'm with both of you on the level of I'm kind of over the show at this point in time, and it's like. And it's so disappointing to me also because my memories and recollections when I saw this back in 2003 or whenever it originally came out, I was like, man, this is fucking great. But I think I mentioned this on a prior episode. It's like after watching Spartacus, this just looks so bad in comparison. You know, back then when I first saw this show, I didn't have Spartacus to compare anything to. So, you know, maybe it was just like, oh man, this is just a really cool sort of historical drama with all these characters I find interesting. But watching later shows like Spartacus actually develop characters over multiple years, and this just doesn't have it. It just doesn't have it, and that's disappointing. But I didn't hate this episode. I wish we could have seen Mark Antony's kind of devolving into the drug-addled king of Egypt, pharaoh sort of guy, rather than just time jumping to it, and this is just how he is. Is it in this episode or the next episode where he has that? Oh no, it's the next episode where he has a fight with that.
Yeah, that's next.
Okay, I won't spoil it then, but yeah, it's okay. But guys, we are promised that there's a war is coming, and we are going to get this epic battle next episode. This super excellent naval battle. The forces of Mark Antony are going to go up against the forces of Octavian for the control of the ancient Roman world. Let me go to you first, Ronan. How excited are you for this battle next episode?
I mean, I have heard stories about the great naval battle scenes on this show. It's like you hear about them all the time because it's like this is where HBO learned. Oh well, if you spend money on great medieval themed battles, you can make a great show out of it. And I can't wait to watch this. This is gonna redeem the whole show. It's gonna be a fantastic naval battle. I've seen some clips of it here and there. I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
Steve, how about you? How excited are you for this naval battle?
I'm really excited because they saved so much money in this episode by not having anything happen. I know they can take that money and apply it to the next episode, and I'm sure they're going to go all out.
They must have known. They must have known when they're like, okay, well, we're not gonna. We have to send the audience home happy. So we're gonna give them an incredible battle scene. Like once they realized that, the show was ending, we're gonna go out on a high note at the very least. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm super excited for the battle. Everything has been leading to this. We've complained in the past with past episodes how it's like we get like 5 seconds of a battle. And that's it. Well, now we're gonna get into it, folks. So stay tuned, hit that like and subscribe. Next episode of Jupiter's Crock, we are gonna dive deep into the battle sequence on the Mediterranean between Mark Antony and Octavian. We will see you next time on Jupiter's Crock.